Hit it. Yo!
Boom! What's
Josh,
up?
Josh here. Wait, where's my name at?
It says
Is that
Josh the
it?
Horror Guy. I see you, Josh.
Oh, I don't show it on my end. Hey, I'm rocking my brand new Scream hat. Mike, you like that?
I do like that hat. Now, and
Yeah,
I'm actually doing the Bigfoot.
I like that, Mike, how it has that in the brim.
I
That's
do
cool.
like that.
Yeah, I love it. $20 Spirit Halloween. So, hey, we're here tonight. And Mike, how are you doing this week? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, man, it's a 3-day weekend. I've watched a couple horror movies already. Got a couple
Yeah.
more to watch.
What did you watch, Mike?
Just watched American Werewolf in London, which we're going to do a review on that.
Yep.
And so yeah, watched that. Watched a little bit of the original Nightmare on Elm Street because I wanted to see Amanda Weiss and Heather Langenkamp.
Awesome.
So I think I'm gonna go back and watch that tomorrow, maybe as well. So, um,
You're still riding
yeah,
high off that MonsterCon, aren't you? A little bit, Mike. That was pretty
yes,
awesome.
everybody I got their signature for, I'm going back and trying to get it again.
Wait, what do you mean?
Get the movie, watch it again.
Oh, okay, yeah. That I mean, we did a whole live show about it, and Mike's released videos. But I mean, it was really cool to see Mike and his son Anthony be able to go to something like that. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I tell you something else, Josh. That if people watch this on the replay, we did another video the other night that's doing pretty well. But the fan film for Dylan's Nightmare, New Nightmare,
yeah,
that's a really good fan film, and it's really doing well on our channel. And so it's only 30 some minutes. So down the road, if you're a fan of Freddy Krueger, and you want to see something, go check out that 34 minutes. It's free. We got a link in our description of that video. Don't watch our video first. Watch the 34 minutes and then watch us go back and talk about it. But it's getting a lot of popularity, and I was really pleasantly surprised with it.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was really good. I mean, we had a couple issues with it. But for the most part, I was trying to make Michelle a mod. Oh shit, I put user in timeout. That was an accident. No.
Michelle.
Wait, I said Adventures Ahead was banned and their comments
banned and removed her comments. Michelle, that's not right.
Wait,
I hope you make him sleep outside tonight.
Oh shit.
I would never do that to you. Hey Mary, how you doing? Good to see you in the house.
Michelle, I did not mean to do that. I don't know how to reverse that. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Hey, and I'm not even make me a moderator over here to the side.
How do I do? That's what I was trying to make Michelle, and I hit ban.
You should be able to click right beside my name, right beside it, and then you can add me as a moderator.
No, it won't let me.
And I hope you didn't ban her for good. That's like one of our few people that come to our lives.
It says ban and delete. No, Mike, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make you a mod.
It's all right. Maybe nobody will cuss us out.
How do I wonder how do I get Michelle back?
Well, see, I'm not a moderator either, so I can't go and
well, we'll have to figure it out because that's dumb. I'm mad right now, but let's go on to our topic. Sorry, Michelle. I did not mean to do that. My freaking fat finger hit ban for some reason.
We got to get you on that laptop, man. Got to get you on that laptop instead of that phone.
Michelle, once you get home, Michelle, we'll figure it out. We'll get you unbanned and we'll get you a moderator status. Sorry. She's at the gym anyway. She can't really comment much. So, okay. So tonight we're talking about Stephen King horror movies, right, Mike?
Yeah, Stephen King, man. The OG. You and I were talking about that the other day, and that's probably another show or another little segment we need to do. But who else is out there writing these killer movies or killer books, and then they do an adaptation of it to a movie? But Stephen King has got a ton of movies, good and bad.
Good and
not
bad,
all horror, not all horror, but we're talking about horror tonight.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting to see.
I mean, I would say arguably his best adaptation ever is not horror at all, and that's Shawshank Redemption. So
that's classic. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Right. Yep. So
the Green Mile, didn't he do the Green Mile too?
Right. He did that one too.
So Meg's in the airport. Good to see you in here, Meg. And yeah, just listen to us. You definitely don't want to see us anyway.
Right, and you don't want to get banned and their comments were removed. Oh my gosh. No, but so Stephen King, yeah, like you said, I mean, every time I see Stephen King books at garage sales or Goodwills, I always pick them up because, dude, people still buy them on eBay all the time because I'm a reseller. So Stephen King books still move online. I mean, definitely you have to lot them up. I mean, they're not worth much if you sell them individually. Only certain books are, but they definitely move still. People still want to read Stephen King. His books have he's really lasted the test of time, Mike. There's no doubt about that.
I agree.
So Mike, what's one what is one movie that you want to start with that you really enjoy of Stephen King's?
So I'm going to go way back, and I haven't watched this in a while, so it's been a few years. So it may be one that I don't know how it stands up against the test of time, but I remember as a kid it freaked me out. This came out in 1976. I was a whole 6 years old. I don't remember. I'm sure I didn't watch it as soon as it came out because I was 6, but I probably watched it when I was 10 to 13 years old. But that's the 1976 version of Carrie. Okay. And that movie got a 93 from the critics, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
And it got a 77 from the audience. So not a bad audience score for back then or now for then.
Yeah.
93. I mean, just some of the iconic, the ending of it with the blood being dumped on her, and then lighting the high school up, and then the hand coming out at the very end, and this naive young girl that was, mother was extremely religious and trying to hide that she had these special powers, and I just thought it was a really good movie for that time. Now, if I went back and watched it now, I may not think so much. I don't know. I need to go back and watch it. Like I said, it's been a few years, but as a kid, I just remember me being 52 years old. I remember how powerful it was for back then.
Right. So I'm going to go with one we just did a review on, Mike, and that's Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary struck a chord with me as a kid. Oh, Gregory's here. Hey, Gregory. Yeah, I think Pet Sematary struck a chord with me as a kid. The Zelda thing freaked me out, the sister. And I just like the characters in this movie. I love the neighbor across the street, Judd, or what's his name? Judd?
Judd.
Yeah, I really like him. And man, it's great. I really like the story in that. I like that there's a child killer in it. I think that's pretty cool. It kind of different, and yeah, I think it's a really good movie with some really quotable lines, Mike. And also I'm going to kind of just talk about the remake they did about I think it was like 5 years ago or so. The movie's not bad. They do change some things from the original Pet Sematary. But it's not a bad remake. John Lithgow plays the Judd character. He's really good in it. John Lithgow is a really good actor. And he is good in that as Judd. And I'd say check out the remake. I mean, it's not as good as the 89 to me, but still I would give it a watch. So, yeah, it's kind of funny that we're getting old enough, Mike, where they're making remakes of these movies.
I am anyway. You're still young. Josh. So Gregory says he's never seen Pet Sematary. Let me tell you.
Wait, Gregory, what?
I'm gonna kind of give a little. We're on a live show tonight, and we're gonna do an American Werewolf in London, and I'm gonna tell you my wife's opinion. We just watched in the last week Pet Sematary again, and then we watched American Werewolf in London. American Werewolf in London is critically acclaimed with Rotten Tomatoes scores.
What is the score?
Very high. I can't remember. I think it's like in the high 80s on both of them, or not, maybe in a low 90.
It's great.
And on Pet Sematary, it got like a Pet Sematary was one of mine as well, Josh. And we just did that last week. It had the original 1989 version got a 60 from fans and only a 51 from the critics. That Pet Sematary, my wife, this is her opinion, and I may agree with her. Pet Sematary was better, in my wife's opinion, than American Werewolf in London. Now, that's her opinion.
Yeah.
And Pet Sematary is a sleeper. I think people have slept on it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. The acting's pretty good overall. I mean, you got
I think the acting's better in American Werewolf in London, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Right. And I think that may be what would kind of take it down a peg from American Werewolf in London, because American Werewolf in London has like good acting, it has good special effects, it's got a good story, it's got a lot going for it. Also, like Pet Sematary kind of takes place in like one area, like the American Werewolf in London takes place in London, so that's kind of a different thing. But Pet Sematary can hold its own, no doubt about that, Mike. I definitely, think that.
Also, we got somebody commented said American Werewolf in Paris. D&G says that's funny.
Yeah, did you ever see that, Mike?
Meg says Dreamcatcher is her favorite movie by Stephen King.
Wait a minute, Dreamcatcher, Meg?
Interesting.
Man, Dreamcatcher's a stinker, Meg. Go.
That's why we all have opinions, Josh. That you and I don't agree, and now you and Meg don't agree. I don't even know if I've ever seen Dreamcatcher, to be honest with you.
Well, let's just say there's a scene where a worm goes up a guy's butt.
That can happen in real life.
I'm talking about like a big worm. It's an alien worm.
Don't you remember your parents telling you don't eat that, you can get worms?
Hey, did you ever see American Werewolf in Paris, Mike?
I have not.
Okay. Don't see it.
Meg says, Josh, to each their own. That's right.
No doubt. I get it, but I gotta call a spade a spade. It's a stinker.
Now, Paul loves Pet Sematary. He said Pet Sematary.
Yeah, Paul, right. You're right on with that one. Have you, Mike? I was gonna bring up another one here that I really like. Silver Bullet. It's got Gary Busey. It's got Corey Haim before he was Corey Haim. Like, he wasn't as big of an actor. He was kind of blowing up. And it is a really cool werewolf story. Another, a werewolf story. Are the special effects great? No, but I don't think they had a big budget. But it is pretty cool. The werewolf looks kind of like a bear, in my opinion, but it's a cool story. Have you ever seen Silver Bullet, Mike?
It's been many, many years. That's one thing about us starting this channel up. And it's been going on, I think, right at almost a year now.
Yeah.
I think we started last August, September, so we've probably hit our 1-year anniversary. I went for a few years there where, we had small kids in the house. Anthony was small, and I just didn't watch a lot of them because he was always watching his shows on TV. That's how you kept him quiet and kept him, kept him entertained at home. But now we've gotten back into it again, and that's one I saw a long time ago. But that's one thing I love about this channel is we're going back and reflecting on some movies that either I missed or I hadn't seen in many, many years. And it's making me appreciate them a lot more. Or sometimes watching now, I'm like, why did that scare me? I really wasn't that scary.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I love it, Mike. That's one of the reasons why I love this channel is we do go back and watch these movies and give our opinions and say, man, this one held up, or this one didn't hold up not so much. Like, I think one comes to mind, Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah, that's one of the ultimate stinkers, man.
That one did not hold up. Yeah, so I have that movie. So I want to talk a little bit more about Silver Bullet. I grew up watching this movie. It was always on like USA Network or AMC growing up. And it's just a fun movie. It's not over serious. Gary Busey is Gary Busey in it. It's awesome. I love it. He's really fun in it. Corey Haim actually plays a kid in a wheelchair, and that's the name of his wheelchair is Silver Bullet. His uncle made it for him. It's like almost like a small motorcycle.
Hey, did this happen on 4th of July?
Yeah, he shot the world for the fire.
Yes, I remember that now. I remember it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember that. And I remember the kid in the wheelchair, and it just.
Do you remember the
twist? It's probably been 15, 20 years since I've seen that.
Do you remember the twist of the movie, who the werewolf is?
I don't, so don't tell me.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell me.
Huh?
We can give spoilers, but don't spoil it for me.
Okay, I won't tell you. Paul says he loves Silver Bullet. We'll have to cover Silver Bullet at some point, Mike, for sure.
Yeah, The Mist is getting some love too in here, which I
Yeah,
know
The
we're
Mist.
going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, well, we can go to it if you want. If you
We
want
just recently did a review on that.
Yeah, we did.
I don't want to give, since Meg says I want us to watch it now, I'm not going to give you the very ending of it, but The Mist is one of those movies that, to me, some of the monsters in it, I would just say creatures. Some of them you're like, God, that is not very good, and then some of them are okay. But the twist at the end of that movie, the last 5 to 10 minutes, is epic, and it can make you cry, it can turn around and make you mad, it can make you a lot of different emotions at one time, and it's a good movie. I thought I had seen it before, but I had not. And Josh told me about it and went back and watched it, and it's definitely entertaining. I would definitely watch it.
Right. I'm almost starting to wonder, Mike, if Stephen King had like people that were like super religious and they were like always trying to shove it down his throat, because in The Mist, there's a lady that's like that. And in Carrie, the mother is like that. So I'm wondering if he had that experience growing up or as a teenager, because obviously it translated into a couple of his works. So I'm
yeah, and then
wondering.
he plays a cameo in a lot of his movies, and he was a cameo as a priest.
Yeah.
And A Pet Sematary.
Yeah, he was. Yep, he sure was.
So maybe that maybe his
The
his way of getting back at organized religion. I don't know.
I don't know. The Mist is good. Thomas Jane's a really good actor. I highly recommend The Mist. I think I saw it not in a theater, but like shortly after that. I remember when it first came out on DVD, I went out and rented it. So, wait, Paul, you said anything is better than now M. Night Shyamalan has some good movies. Paul, I mean, The Sixth Sense is an all-timer, dude. The Sixth Sense is an all-timer. Right,
That's
Mike?
his best work by far.
Yeah.
There's nothing even close to that. I mean, he's got some other ones that are decent. Some of them really suck too, but
right.
I mean, this show's about Stephen King. I don't want to get too much in that, but that may be a question at the very end we asked, and I just asked that question: who's going to be the next Stephen King?
Right. So a movie. So Mike, how about you go ahead and say a movie, Mike?
The next one I got is probably the highest Rotten Tomatoes scoring Stephen King movie, or at least they took his story and turned it into a movie. And a lot of people may not consider it horror, but when you look it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it is considered horror. Is Misery, 1990. Was it Kathy Bateman plays in it, and what's the guy's name? Can't remember the guy's name, but it got a 91 from the critics and a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes score. Misery back then is, kind of a psychological thriller horror movie, and just the acting. I think Kathy Bateman won or is it Kathy Bates? Is that her name? Kathy Bates?
Mm-hmm.
Not Bateman. I think it's Bates. Did an incredible job on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Paul says it's a psychological horror. I agree. It's a pretty freaky movie. When she takes that piece of wood and puts it between his legs and takes that mallet and hits his legs and breaks his ankles against his feet. I mean, that is just like, wow.
I've never seen Misery.
What? I'm sitting there spoiling it for you. Why didn't you say, Mike, stop?
I've watched it. Dude, I watched the kill count on it, bro. You know me.
Yeah. You got the Cliff Notes of movies. You watch a 30-minute. You watch a 1 hour show and you could watch the whole thing in an hour and a half.
Mike, I'm afraid I'm gonna be.
Misery is in my top 3 Stephen King, maybe top 4.
Well, Mike, we'll discuss that later, Mike. Don't be giving away spoilers. We're gonna give our top 3 Stephen King movies of all time.
I didn't realize we was doing that.
Well, Mike, you got to be on the fly, buddy. On the fly. Hey, listen, I'm afraid I'm gonna be on the couch tonight after I banned Michelle. So
you deserve to be on the couch.
Oh gosh.
We got Gina Beachy in there. She says, "I love Misery. The male lead actor is James Caan." That's right, James Caan. Wow, how can
James Caan
a lot of great movies.
He's a great actor. Yeah,
really good actor. Excellent actor.
Man, Mike, I'm gonna go for a twofer here. I'm gonna say The Shining / Dr. Sleep, really good movies. Both of them. I love the original Shining, even though Stephen King
hated it.
Absolutely cannot stand the original Shining, so much so that he wrote a script, helped write the script for a Shining adaptation that was on television, like a 2-part or 3-part miniseries, like in the late 90s, and it was on television. And that was what he wanted, not the Shining that Stanley Kubrick did.
Well, with all due respect to Stephen King, it is his story that he wrote. The movie, The Shining, it's like an all-time great in horror movies. I mean,
yeah, it's a masterpiece.
I mean, I know, what's her name? Duvall? What's her name?
Shelley Duvall.
She get a little bit over the top in some of her acting in it, but Jack, I mean, you can't get any, the acting, Mr. Nicholas is just incredible.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's that movie, the two little Grady twins in it, the story behind the scenes. There's so many hidden things in that movie that you can watch it 100 times and pick up something different every time.
Have you seen Dr. Sleep, Mike?
I don't think I have, Josh.
You're nuts. You're nuts.
I need to go back and see that, I guess.
It's about a grown-up Danny Torrance.
Is that the one where he starts seeing people in the hospital about the they're about to die and he's like helping them? I might be talking about the newest one that came out with him.
Yeah, I'm talking about Dr. Sleep, where he tries to help other people with the shine. And there's this woman with this group of people that actually attack and hunt down people that have the shine. And
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the last part of the movie takes place at the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah.
It's awesome, Mike.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
Yeah, it is awesome. Michelle Loveless says, "You banned Michelle." Yeah, an accident. My fat
That's awful.
Finger.
That's awful, Josh.
I was trying to hit star and my finger. So
Paul
yeah, I'll say Shining.
Paul says the book is way better, but the movie is gold. So I think he's talking about The Shining.
Right. So, Mike, what's a movie for you?
So Paul mentioned it in here, so I'm going to go ahead and say it now. This is one that I would like to see a newer version done again. I think they've done a second version on it anyway, but Christine, 1983, got a 71 from the critics, 64 from the fans. You know, you got this entity, this car, and an entity, and somebody died in it, and the whole storyline is just, I don't know. Maybe they could do it with a Tesla nowadays. I don't know, but a car that's haunted and kills people and then it fixes itself back. I mean, come on. I mean, back in the 80s, I mean, everybody loved the hot rods, and this was old hot rod. I can't remember the name of the car that was being used in it, but yeah, I would like to see a newer version of Christine, but the old one's okay. I mean, it's not bad at all.
It's okay. It's not my favorite, to be honest. It's just not.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care for Christine that much. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I need a refresher, but yeah, I didn't care for it. Gina said, "I'm reading Dr. Sleep, but didn't even know there was a movie." Yeah, it just was released. I don't know what.
Fury. That's right. Thanks,
3
Paul.
or so years ago. So I'm gonna go with these are the one. I'm gonna go for another double feature here, Mike. I'm going with It, 1990. Even though that wasn't a theatrical release, it was a TV miniseries, but it's the one I grew up watching. And It 2017, which is a freaking all-timer, Mike. That movie was scary, creepy, and just nuts, in my opinion. I saw that in the theater, and I remember jumping, dude, a couple of times. I mean, that movie was crazy.
That's one of Anthony's, the 2017.
Yeah.
That's on my list. It got an 86 from the Rotten Tomato critics and an 84 from the audience. That is on my list. That 84 is the second highest scoring other than Misery.
Yeah.
The 2017, the other one is, it's okay. It's good. It was good for back then, but the 2017 version that came out, that's one of the few second ones that come out on something I think is just as good, if not better.
Yeah,
better than the original.
I really like It Chapter 1, 2017. It's great. And I still like the 1990, man. I can still watch it and really enjoy it.
I mean, Pennywise, that's a big character. I mean, think about it. Is that the biggest character? Probably that's the biggest character, that and Jack Torrance from the Shining, is that he's got in his books, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, like the two scariest. I mean, Pennywise is pretty creepy.
Right. Yeah, he is. Yeah. So I think 1990 and 2017 are awesome, Mike. So what do you got up next, buddy?
Man, I don't have many left. I only got one left, Josh. And then
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We can start talking about some of the stinkers then, but this is one that I told you about, and you said I don't think you've seen it. I was telling my wife about it, and she couldn't remember it, and then was like, "Oh yeah, we did see it." This is one. Don't sleep on it. If you have not seen this one, get your pencil out, get your notepad, get your phone out. Make sure you remember this one. 1922. It was put out in 2017. The critics gave it a 92, which is the highest. Oh, other than Carrie, it's the second highest from Rotten Tomatoes. But it only got a 57 from the fans, the people audience. I don't understand that. Now, people may in here have seen it or watching a replay say, well, I didn't like it either. I thought it was awesome. Had a great storyline.
Isn't it quite slow, Mike?
It kind of is. It builds up on a story. The story, real quick, I mean, I'm not with all the details. It's about these farmers back in 1922, and they're way out in the country, and the mother wants to move back into town. The guy wants to stay on the farm with his son, and we'll just put it this way: one of the family members disappears, and then it's like a mystery of how that person disappeared, and it kind of tells the whole story of it towards the end of it. But so then Gina says I didn't like it. She said I did not find 1920 very memorable at all.
Mike,
I guess that's maybe why it scored a 50 something. Maybe it just resonated with me a little differently. I absolutely loved it.
Mike, I think you can relate to them. Well, Mike, you know what? Me and Michelle did start watching it. Turned it off because we were bored to tears of it, Mike. I remember now that you said that. I think you could probably relate because the guy, you can hardly understand what he's saying a lot with his accent. So you can relate,
Yeah, you got to slow things down. If you're above the Mason-Dixon line, I don't know if Gina lives up to the north or not. You probably didn't understand what he was even saying. Kind of like Sling Blade.
Yeah. So no, but we did watch that, Mike. We started it and we turned it off because we were bored with it. I like Thomas Jane too, but yeah, because you know why? You know why we started that? Because another movie came out around the same time. And that movie's excellent in my opinion.
So Gina's laughing. Gina, where are you from? I don't know what state you're from, but tell us what state you're from.
There's a movie that came out around the same time on Netflix, and it's a Stephen King book, and it's called Gerald's Game, and it is excellent on Netflix. I don't know if you guys haven't seen that. You guys need to go watch Gerald's Game. It's about a woman and a man that are trying to, fix their marriage and, spice it up and all that, and they have marriage issues. And he ends up like handcuffing her to the bed. And when he handcuffs her to the bed, he dies of a heart attack. The husband.
Oh, wow.
So she's stuck here to this metal bed in handcuffs and can't get out. And then she's trying, and then these wild dogs get in, and because they have the windows and everything open. And then there's this other character in it who's real tall and he's big, and I don't know, it's weird, but it turns out that it's a real guy. It's not like an entity or anything, but it's really cool. She's just struggling to try to get out of these, and that's what the movie's about, Mike. And it is really, really good. Honestly, it's very good. Me and Michelle really liked it. It's called Gerald's Game. It's on Netflix. I would check it out.
Dude, that is something that could be generational, and I think I don't know how Gina is in here, but I'm used to the slow burn, slow movies from back in the 70s and 80s. They kind of let the story build up, and really the last 30 minutes is where all the action happens. The first 45 minutes to an hour is just kind of I get it.
Gina's from Ohio.
Some of the newer movies that come out, like Scream, right off the bat, where they, somebody stabbed within the first.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too, but I'm from the era back where some of the older people that watch this will know, where they set up all the bodies at the end so they all fall down or fall out of here, and all. It was just something all the movies did back during that time period. So I'm kind of used to that slow burn starting out.
Gina says she's from Ohio, Mike. So yes, she's not, but she does say she does come from a long line of hillbillies.
Well, there's hillbillies up in Michigan and Ohio. I get that.
So yeah, because I definitely have realized that old movies are slow as hell. The first 45 minutes of these old movies, slow as hell. Halloween, freaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like, come on with it, people. Let's get on with this movie. I like a movie that starts out with a bang, Mike.
You're part of this newer generation that wants it fast and furious.
Mike, you're telling me that opening sequence of Scream isn't one of the best of all time?
It is a really good story. Now, the opening of Halloween's not bad. Now maybe the next 45 minutes after that's bad, slow. But you got to remember, in Halloween, which I know we're talking about Stephen King here, I mean, the kid goes up into the house and stabs his own sister. I mean, and then comes back out and the parents. I mean, that's a pretty good opening first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's not bad. Right. That's not bad. Okay, so, Mike, I have some more here we'll go over then.
Okay.
So I think these are underrated, Mike, and I don't think they get appreciated enough. And that is Creepshow 1 and 2. I love anthology movies. And Creepshow 1 is excellent, in my opinion. I love Creepshow 1. Creepshow 2 is solid. It has less stories. It has 3 instead of, I think, 5 or 4. But it still is a solid anthology type movie. So, do you have any memories of seeing Creepshow?
It's been a long time since I've watched the Creep shows. I remember I liked them at the time. I think it doesn't Lithgow do one of those.
No, that's stories? Twilight Zone.
Oh, sorry, different movie. Sorry, Steven.
Come on, Mike.
Sorry, Steven. Sorry, Steven. The Creep shows are the ones that's got the Crypt guy, right?
The what?
The stories. The guy with the Crypt looking, the skeleton guy that tells the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I haven't watched. I like movies like that though that tell multiple stories in one movie though.
Me too. And
kind of like not the same as Zach Way, but like the Trick or Treat movie where
right now those are all connected in anthology. These aren't connected in any way, but they're still an anthology. Yeah, Creepshow 1 and 2. Yeah, the Wooden Indian is in the second. That's in the second Creepshow, Paul. I think I'm pretty sure. So that one's good. Okay, we got another one here that I really like, and I didn't find it till much later. I didn't even watch this, I don't think, until probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Underrated, in my opinion. 1408.
Never seen it.
Oh, Mike, it's really good. It has one of my favorite actors in it, John Cusack. I mean, the guy is a really good actor.
Wow, whoa! I think I have seen that. I see a lot of these. I'm like, and then like.
Mike, so your memory is like...
Tell us the synopsis without telling us everything.
Okay, Samuel L. Jackson's also in it. He plays like the guy that runs the hotel or the curator of the hotel and stuff. And so John Cusack is a writer, and he makes his living by going around staying at like supposed haunted places for a night. And then he writes a book about his experience or whatever.
I've seen that, but it's been many years ago, and I remember it being good. But I need to go back and watch it again. I do. I have seen that, but
it is. Paul says
I think I've seen it just once.
I heard the book is really good though. Jeez, Mike, what you got, a coffin fit, bro? You have a drink there?
I'm getting choked up on the drink.
Yeah. So, 1408, Mike, you need to watch it. It's excellent. Like, I remember, so there's this one part of the movie, I don't care if it's a spoiler. Like, he's trying to get out of this place, and he's, like, waving across the street, and there's, like, someone, like, across the street in another building, or, like, I don't know if it's across the street, but it's, like, at another building, and he's, like, waving at it. And he's like, help me, and he, like, notices, and he's like, looking and looking, and he like, and it's him in the other building. It's like a reflection. It's like, and that tripped me out. I was like, what the heck? It was actually him in the other building. It wasn't. It was just an illusion or whatever. Wow. It was crazy. Yeah, that part. Like, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, definitely watch 1408. It is a underappreciated movie.
Gina is asking, is the book titled 1408 as well?
I'm assuming. I don't know that, but I heard the book is really good. Now, this last one I have, some people would consider it a stinker, but this is another one that I grew up watching, so that's why I like it. But it didn't make, it bombed probably in a theater or whatever. But it's called The Graveyard Shift, and the movie is about. You've seen this, Mike?
I think I have. I don't think I was
Mike, every movie I say, you're like, I don't know.
Damn, it's been like 40. All these movies came out like in the 80s, man. That's 40 years ago for me, Josh.
The Graveyard Shift is about a guy like a drifter type dude. He goes into a town. He's looking for work. The local mill is hiring. The boss there is a total jerk, like a real a-hole. They hire this guy to work in this mill to help clean it up. They have to get it cleaned up. It's got rats everywhere, tons. And so they get a crew of people to work in this mill to clean it up over a holiday weekend or whatever. And it turns out there's like a big like monster down there. It's like a giant rat almost, like bat rat combined. And it's huge. It's like the size, bigger than a man. And it starts picking these guys off one by one that are working down and trying to get this cleaned up. It's not the greatest special effects or anything, but for me, I really enjoy it. But some people would say, like I said, they would call it definitely a stinker. But I like the acting in it. I'm pretty sure the guy that voices Chucky has a small part in this movie, and he's really good in it. He plays like an exterminator, but it's a very small part. God, what is his name? The guy that plays Chucky's voice.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
God, I can't remember.
I know you know it because you bring him up all the time.
Yeah, I know it.
He was talking about at one of the horror cons, you was going to get his autograph.
Oh yeah, if he's at that one in Atlanta, I'm getting it. What is his name? Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif. Yeah, he's I think he's in that movie, and he does a really good scene about he like relates killing these rats to like when he was in Vietnam, killing or whatever. I don't know, but it's a really good like monologue. Gina said maybe 1408 was one of his short stories. Yeah, maybe it was a short story. I don't know, Gina. I really don't.
Yeah, Meg said it was.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Graveyard Shift is my last one that I have, Mike, that I enjoy. I mean, I'm sure there's others that I enjoy, but I couldn't think of them. I just wrote down a list of ones that I really enjoy. I do have a list of bad ones, Mike. Do you want to go over those?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, some of that you may think's bad, I may not think so bad. So yeah, it'd be fun with the chat and us talking about them.
Oh, Meg said it's in the audio book, Blood and Smoke. Looked it up because I want to read it. Yeah. Listen, these other guys I watch that have a channel about horror, they said the book was really good for 1408. They said it was really good. So, I don't know. That's their recommendation. So for me, like when I think of stinker movies besides Dreamcatcher for Stephen King, sorry, Meg, I'm going to say It Chapter 2 with a Bullet is a stinker. That movie, I was really excited for it because, that movie had good actors in it, Mike. I mean, really good young actors in it. And it just wasn't any good. It really wasn't. It was bad. What do you think about that, Mike?
Yeah, I didn't get into the It too.
I didn't like it.
It was so much better.
Yeah.
And I didn't get into the series. I think the original It was that spider in it looked horrible back.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, I know a lot of people love that one, but that spider looked horrible.
Dude, you got to think it was a TV miniseries, Mike. The budget was $0, so yeah. They had John Boy playing the main role as an adult. So I mean, come on now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, It Chapter 2 was not good. I didn't care for it at all. Another one was I didn't like. I thought it was just over cheesy and overhyped, and it was Stephen King. Actually, it was his first movie that he directed. This one, he actually directed his own movie for the first time, and it's Maximum Overdrive. The movie is horrible in my
dude. I kind of liked Maximum Overdrive,
even though it has a kick-ass AC/DC soundtrack. It's just bad, and also
I don't think it was that bad,
and it was at the height. They also said, I was reading this thing. They said it was at the height of Stephen King's substance abuse problems. So,
can I look that up real quick and just see what the score was on that on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think it was, Josh? Without even
under 50.
Oh my God.
What?
You are way off on this.
Oh.
The critic score on it, 15. The audience score, 50. So it kind of did get a bad. It got up overall. This audience liked it a little bit better, but still wasn't a great score.
Hey, look up.
I kind of liked it though. I guess maybe because I was probably 17. When was that? 1986. Yeah, I was a freshman in high school there. That's probably why I like the AC/DC soundtrack.
Meg says, Josh, Dreamcatcher was fun for me, but I am no critic. Well, Meg, like I said, to be fair, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I just remember it being just not good. But I'll have to check it out again to give it another try, Meg.
So Dreamcatcher, was that the 19? What year did that come out?
I think like late 90s, early 2000s.
Was it called The Dreamcatcher?
I think it's just called Stephen King's Dreamcatcher. What is it? Does it like have a picture of snow and shit? Because it took place in the cold.
Oh, damn, let me look this up. I can't find it.
Stephen King. Mike, after that, look up Rotten Tomatoes score for It Chapter 2.
It won't pull it. There's about 10 different movies called Dreamcatcher, and I don't see anything in the early 2000s. I don't know. I don't know why it's not. So what did you say the other one was? It Chapter 2?
Yeah. What about, you didn't look up
It Chapter 2, 2019.
Yeah.
It actually got a 78 from the audience and 62 from the critics.
Okay. They liked it better than we did.
Better than maybe we're giving it.
I mean, it does have phenomenal acting in it, but yeah. So the next one I'll have you pull up, Mike, is Thinner. I think that's a stinker. I tried to watch it. It just was not. I just couldn't get into it, dude.
1996.
Yeah.
So it got a 17 from the critics and a 31 from the audience.
Yeah, I told you it's a stinker, dude. I tried to watch it, man. It was horrible. A cool premise, but kind of a stretch. It should have been in a creep show. Like, you know, like a little short story, not a full-length movie. You know what I mean? It would have been better as like a Tales from the Crypt episode. You know, that's what I thought of it.
I can't find the Dreamcatcher. I don't know why.
It's not the Dreamcatcher. It's called Dreamcatcher.
I did. I just put that in too, and it would not come up.
Old guys in you know, modern.
Yeah, this modern technology. Oh wait, Morgan Freeman's in it. Yeah, I found it here. 2003. So it got a 28 from the critics and a 35 from the audience.
Yep, guaranteed stinker.
Sorry, Meg. I mean, hey, I like stinkers too. I like Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Meg. Listen, Meg, you can
like what you like, and what you remember is you get sometimes these movies have more of a certain time of your life and what was going on.
That's right. Like I said,
teenage years, and you and your buddies going and seeing it. I mean, so sometimes things like that happen.
If you looked up Graveyard Shift, I'm sure that's a freaking stinker too. But I
Let me look that one up real quick.
Yeah, look that one up. I'll guarantee you that's a stinker, Meg. So I like stinkers too, but I grew up watching that. So,
oh my God, this is the lowest score I've ever seen. The critics gave it a 0.
No,
a 0. and the audience gave it a 23.
Wow. Told you.
So Meg, no matter what he says about that, he's just picked the ultimate stinker on a 0. Now, only 7 reviews were on it by critics. 5,000 some plus people on the audience gave it a 23.
Mike, I think you'd enjoy it, honestly. I think you would enjoy it if you watched it.
I mean, I liked My Bloody Valentine and you hated it. So, I mean, I probably would.
Yeah, that movie was horrible. Okay, so I got a couple more here, Mike. You can look this one up too. Sleepwalkers. This movie is horrible. I grew up watching it and liking it, but when I watched it later, I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Also, the dude like sleeps with his mom, so it's like a totally like Southern thing going on, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Sure they're not from Michigan? I bet they're from Michigan.
What?
Kentucky or Michigan, I'd say. Oh, maybe Ohio.
Hey, you know what they say down south? Cousins, kissing cousins. And
I saw something the other day I said to my wife, and it said cousins on the shirt, and she's like, that's awful. And I was like, I'll have to remember that and show it to you later on off this. So Sleepwalkers, 1992.
Sleepwalkers.
29 from the critics.
Yep.
31 from the audience.
Yeah, I like it. I like I said, I think it has there's that guy in it that I like, and I can't remember his name. He's the guy that plays Hellboy. He played Beast in Beauty and the Beast show. Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman is in that. He plays a sheriff. But like it's like these ancient beings from Egypt. They're like cat beings, and they like have to suck the soul out of people to live. But like the mother and the son are like banging, so it's like like I said, it's real Kentucky, Southern Tennessee, Georgia type stuff.
Oh my God, this show is going down the toilets.
Hey, no, this is fun. Meg said, yeah, I was 20 years old, young and bored in South Georgia. Yeah, Meg, I'm sure. Like I said, I'll give it another try. I haven't watched it in 20 years, Meg. Probably like 2004, I rented it, and I was like, man, this sucks. Wait, Meg said, hey, leave us Southerners alone. Sorry. Me and Mike always give each other a hard time about South and North, don't we, Mike?
Yeah, we do. We got to teach Josh the Southern ways.
So I have one more, Mike, and I'm saying this. I think people wear rose-colored glasses with this movie. Children of the Corn is a bad movie, even though it does have a young little Linda Hamilton in it, which I do like her. She's a good actress. But Children of the Corn is a bad movie, and then it's like 20 freaking sequels that it came out with, Mike, after that. They're all bad. Check out Children of the Corn.
What year did that come out? There's about 15 in there, right?
I told you, there's a million freaking sequels, man.
So Children of the Corn 2 was in 1992, so it's got to be before 1992.
Yeah, well, Linda Hamilton was in.
Here it is, 1984. Now, yeah, that's a long time ago.
Dude, it was right before she was in Terminator 1, I think. She was in that.
So the score on it is bad, but it's not as bad as yours earlier.
Graveyard
a 38 from the critics and a 40 from the audience.
Stinker.
Now, I was young when that came out, and that kind of scared me because here in North Carolina, you used to have a lot of tobacco fields. You had a lot of cornfields. Not like Iowa, but you still had a lot of cornfields. So that kind of freaked me out. But yeah, I mean, you had Linda Hamilton in it. I mean,
yeah, that's before she was in Terminator, I think, like right before. So, yeah, they're stinkers, Children of the Corn. Paul Vine says, no, The Stand. Paul, no, I've never seen The Stand, so I can't really comment on it, Paul. So have you ever seen The Stand, Mike?
I'm trying to again, I can't remember. I don't.
Mike, what kind of show is this? We need to get you to get some freaking, what's that one stuff? Predigen. Get your mind going, dude.
Is that legal?
I think Predigen gets your memory going, don't it?
Well, I don't know. Up there in Michigan, man, everything's legal, I think. So I don't know. That in Colorado, I don't.
Hey, my memory works just fine, Mike.
Hey, like a steel trap. Let's see, The Stand. What year did The Stand come out?
I don't know.
There's one here. It's 2020. That's probably too new.
Yeah.
The Stand 2016. There's another one there. I don't know which one. I don't know which one it is.
Is there 80s or 90s? Oh, she said it was a TV miniseries, Mike.
Oh.
So it was like the original It. Gina said this. What about Carrie? Did you already talk about Carrie? Yes, we did. Mike actually mentioned Carrie, and he likes that movie. I think it's all right. I think it's real awesome. I don't think it's great.
It's been made over a couple of times. I remember as a kid, I was born in 71, but I was only 5 years old when it came out. But 1976 Carrie got a 93 from the critics, 77 from the audience, which is a pretty high score.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good movie.
I think it had was it Sissy Spacek played in that one, the original?
Yeah. Paul said Stephen King is actually in The Stand. Yeah, I think Stephen King in most of his movies has a cameo, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. Paul said it has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in it. Okay. Yeah, anything else you want to say about Stephen King, Mike?
No, I mean, I think right here at the very end, I don't know which way you was going to go with it. Was you going to go through our top list of our favorites?
Yeah, do your top 3 favorite Stephen King movie. Don't have to be in any order. Just throw out 3 that are your absolute favorites.
Oh gosh, it's going to be hard to go to 3 now. I'm going to say The Shining.
Yep.
God, this is hard. It 2017.
Yep.
And Misery.
Okay.
Pet Sematary would come in 4, and I could even swap 4. I mean, I could maybe even swap it and It. I really like Pet Sematary. I know the critics hated it. I mean, the audience and critics hated it, or didn't it? I just think it's, I like it.
It's awesome. Great imagery. They had the balls.
And what a horrifying story. That's the thing. Listen, I'm a slasher guy. You can see right up here.
Right.
Michael Myers, Jason. I'm a slasher guy. You got Nightmare on Elm Street. I am a slasher guy. Yeah, Scream. I'm a slasher. Yeah, Stab, Scream. I'm a slasher guy. The storyline for Pet Sematary was so different and unique.
Right. And they had the balls. They had the balls.
Different and unique.
Mike, they had the
Shining. I can see The Shining. I can see people getting stuck in the snow and a guy going crazy and murdering his family. Kind of reminds me of the old Amityville horror thing that, the guy took an axe to his whole family. Well, there's a demon possession in that one, but those are different. They're not just Stephen King doesn't have slasher. Now, I guess Children of the Corn could fall underneath that because the kids go around and it's kind of a cult and they slash a bunch of other people. But even that is a different. Think about what's different about Stephen King. Pet Sematary. You got a kid that is buried and comes back, and the kid is killing everybody. Gage. I want to call him Cage all the time.
Like I said, they had the balls to run over a 3-year-old with a semi. Yeah.
Children of the Corn. The story behind Children of the Corn. Don't just think about the movie, but a bunch of kids that go off the religious end of it and start killing all these adults. Just the story of that is out there, man. It's just, and then the whole Pennywise clown thing and the little boy missing. And I mean, he's got some. Stephen King is the OG. I mean, he is the OG. Alfred Hitchcock. I'm a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock too. I like Edgar Allan Poe, some of his old writings and stuff. But that was a question I kind of had earlier: was who is the next Stephen King? Because Stephen King, Father Time is on him. I mean, who knows how much longer we got with him? But who's the next director or writer of movies that's going to? Clive Barker's already passed away, who was really good. Who's the next person? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in Pet Sematary, they had the balls to run over a 3-year-old with a semi. I mean, they ain't doing that in movies nowadays. That's for sure. I'm gonna say my top 3 are The Shining, Pet Sematary, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 1408, dude. I enjoyed it that much, Mike. Honestly,
I got to go back and watch it.
It's not super scary, but it's just trippy, Mike. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff happens.
So yeah, Gina, you're exactly right, Gina. The Green Mile and Shawshank are probably his greatest works.
Those are his greatest works, but
and like, they're not horror.
I said, like I told Mike, like tonight's about horror, so we can't really talk about those ones, but we did get those ones mentioned at the beginning of the show, Gina, because those are amazing.
Shawshank is awesome. I mean, that little twist at the end. I mean, in all honesty, when I first watched that movie and watched it a couple of times more after that, I didn't realize that Stephen King wrote that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw the movie and I was like, damn, it's got really good, it got Morgan in it, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Yeah, anything with Morgan Freeman in, I'm going to watch it.
Yep. So also, like I said, don't sleep on the True Creep Show movies, man. I think those are they're underrated. Don't sleep on Silver Bullet. That movie is really fun. Don't sleep on Gerald's Game either. Also, go watch Dr. Sleep. It's really good. It's a really good sequel. Me and Michelle were really impressed. So, especially bringing out a sequel that much later, like literally 35 years later, and it was really good. So yeah, Mike, I think that's it. Unless you want anything else to say.
No, I mean, is there any questions the chat may have for us, or anything you'd like to bring up that we can bring up about Stephen King? Maybe some movies we didn't mention that you would like to bring up, or a list that we can look at. And if you're watching this on replay, tell us what this is all opinions,
right?
And what they say about opinions, right? We all have one, and a-hole opinions, all the same. Movies that we may like, you may not like, or movies you like, we may not like. But that's the great thing about movies, is they affect everybody differently.
Yep. Oh, Mike, my wife's home. I'm in trouble, I bet.
Yeah, that's why you want to end this, because you're gonna bow down to her feet. I'm so sorry, honey. I didn't mean to. So Meg says, I haven't found a great author for horror in a while. So that's, Meg, down the road, we need to have you, and probably, it sounds like Paul reads quite a bit too, but Holly Ayers is a librarian, and she loves horror, and she's read all the Stephen King books, and she's into horror. So that she may be one we need to reach out to. So Meg says Dolores Claiborne felt very misery-like to me. Okay.
I actually found that book at a estate sale. I picked it up to put with my collection of Stephen King books. So, but yeah, I mean, like when we were, like who knows, man? I mean, Stephen King could have a couple more in him, but yeah, Mike, I think that's all I got. If you want to call it. I mean, we're at an hour, so that's good.
Yeah, I think it's been a good hour. We went through a lot of movies.
I do want to say this. I want to start doing more lives like this. So if you like this type of live, like we want to get on here and just talk about topics, not necessarily a certain movie or anything, but we want to do more kind of like horror talk. So if you guys like this, let us know. We'll do more. We do have one coming up for sure on Friday. We're going October of Friday the 13th. We're going to be live talking about the Friday the 13th movie series. So we will be doing that then. But I'm sure we're going to try to sprinkle at least a couple more in between then and then, Mike, I would say.
Yeah, I want to give a plug to real quick, because we're going to ride this gravy train as long as we can. There's a couple of Q&A sessions that Anthony and I set in during the Mad Monster Expo.
Yep.
So tomorrow we got Kane Hodder interview, who played Jason on 7, 8, 9, and 10. It is a audio. So if you're driving around or something like that and just want to hit play, it's about 30 minutes long, and you can kind of listen to it. I just threw pictures up because with the actor strike going on now, they would not let you video or ask questions about certain movies, but yet the actors could. So we got Kane Hodder, who's going to talk about some really cool stuff. Also, he tells you which actor that played Jason in previous movies he did not care for. They're acting in it. So that's a tip. He said he's never been asked that question, and it's the first time he's ever answered that. That comes out tomorrow. Also, Wednesday, if some of you, I don't know if the people that's in the chat here now really like this or not, but the Terrifier series, I mean, that is really gory, blood and guts. Some of you may not like all that.
It's not for me, but
that's not for Josh. I like that kind of stuff. I mean, it don't matter to me. I'll watch it. I like
elevated horror.
Yeah, you like the Hereditaries and stuff. I don't care for that. I like the simple-minded stuff, to escape stuff. I don't want to have to think much. But Terrifier 2, the cast for that, Laura Lavera, Wesley Holloway, and Elliot Fulham are going to be on Wednesday. We did the same thing. We couldn't video it, but we have an audio for it. So it's kind of like a podcast, but still like on a YouTube video. I just threw a bunch of pictures up, but you're going to hear them answer questions and talk about the Terrifier series. So those will wrap that one up. And then I don't know if it's okay to say this or not, Josh. I think we said it in one of the other videos. We are looking about going to Atlanta. It's not a done deal yet, but we are looking at going to another Mad Monster Expo in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
In the middle of November. And and there's going to be a bunch of people there too. And we're really looking forward to that. That's something me and Anthony love to do. So this whole Real Dead thing is something me and Josh are doing, but it's also something I get to share with my son because Anthony loves horror movies. So it's great.
Yep, it is great. Man, I mean, just talking about that one in Atlanta, Mike, I just think of like the panel with the Streamcast is going to be awesome, Mike. And it sounds like you kind of know how to record them. So I'll let you do that at that panel if we go there. So definitely, I would love to go to sit there and listen to all them talk, man. That would be awesome, Mike.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Josh, I appreciate it tonight. Thanks everybody that's been in here. I love these chats where we can talk and we can bounce some of the questions off you guys. Yeah, definitely. You can ask questions. Had a great time tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Hope y'all have tomorrow off on Labor Day, and that's why we did this on a Sunday night. Is Josh and I don't have to work, and maybe some of you guys don't have to work either. But please like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, join us over on the horror channel on Facebook. Just look up Real Dead, REEL, and then I'm pretty sure you're already subscribed to this channel if you found out about it tonight. But things are going good, and hey, it's Halloween season. This is the time. This is peak season for horror movies. So
that's right.
Go find one, watch it, and tell us what you think about it.
Yep. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming.
Have a good one.
Spread the news. Bye.